Hey y'all, welcome back. I've done a lot of traveling in this country over the years. I used to be in like a touring metal band for well over a decade, and we really did travel from corner to corner. I played in shows in over 30 different states, been to the biggest cities we have, to the smallest little towns you've never heard of. All this to say, there's not very many states that I haven't been to, but one of those is the state of Wisconsin. That changed last year though, so me and my wife were invited up to see her brother and his wife, and because they just moved to La Crosse, Wisconsin. She had a job opportunity, and we truly bid them farewell because I truly thought that their Florida bodies would freeze at the first sign of a cold breeze. Luckily, I was proven wrong, and we got to go visit them, and I have to tell you guys right here, right now, La Crosse was not at all what I was expecting in such a cool and positive way. It's just an absolutely beautiful area, and well, you'll have to watch to see what we got into. My wife works remote, so she was actually able to go up a little bit before me, so I packed up all my stuff, got in the car, headed down to Orlando, where I'd be flying out the next morning super early. So I just got to Orlando, and I needed to grab some dinner, so I went to the best. Del Taco. If you've had it, you know what I'm saying. Taco Bell's fine, but come on, Del Taco rules. There's a fucking helicopter. Oh my god. The helicopter landing right over there. What the fuck? Okay. It's a real pretty sunset right now over that tower over there. Always the prettiest sunsets when I'm in the middle of a drive and can't do anything about it. Staying at this La Quinta Inn off the highway by the airport. It's right behind this restaurant, so that smells fantastic. What up? My favorite part is there's no secondary lock, and that shit is fucking busted. So here's hoping no one fucks with me tonight. Well, I figured while I had the time, I might as well walk you guys what I brought for this trip. I didn't bring too much. I wanted to travel light. So even though I've been really enjoying shooting on a couple different cameras, I wanted to bring just not a lot. So I have my Canon AE1 program. This is a slightly newer one that I just got that has it's in better condition. I recently roll through it to make sure that it works, and it does. So I'm definitely shooting with this. The lens I have is currently packed away, and I don't really feel like getting it out, but it's just a 35 millimeter. I wanted to make sure I had something really wide for these locations we're shooting at in Wisconsin. And I brought a couple different rolls of film, basically all the same stuff, but essentially I brought 2 rolls of one of my go-tos, Kodak Gold 200. It's an absolutely incredible film, and I think it's going to be really nice, as well as 3 rolls of Portra 400. I'm really excited to shoot this. It really gets some really beautiful colors that way, and where I'm going is very beautiful. At least that's what I've been told, and so here's hoping. Oh, also I have my Olympus Stylus Zoom 140. It still has like 5 pictures left in it, so I might try to get through those before I go to the airport in the morning. Just maybe walk around the parking lot or shoot some here in the room. That way I could just load this through security and not have to worry about the film going through the x-ray machine, because I'll put it in the baggie with my other film and get that hand checked. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. As I quickly learned, this camera does not do well in low light situations without a flash, at least in these shaky ass hands. All right, well, I went through the roll that was already in here. Hopefully some of those come out. I guess you'll see. But the real reason I have you here back again is Mountain Dew Liberty Chill, 50 flavors in one dew. I have a penchant for trying weird sodas, just whatever I can find. And Mountain Dew really, they really do it. Oh, Jesus. So, 50 flavors makes it smell like just nothing. Oh my god, it looks like fucking Windex. Oh, Jesus. Maybe a little darker than Windex, but Windex-ish. nonetheless. I don't know why I do this to myself, but here we go. Oh gosh. It's particularly crazy how something can have that much flavor and taste like fucking nothing. Like just super nondescript. Bubbly sugar? I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. Alright, but that is all I'm gonna have. Alright, Liberty Chill. It's better than Dew SA. Dew SA I think I had last year, maybe the year before, which was like a red dew, a white dew, and a blue dew, all different flavors, all mixed into one, and made this really gross purple color. It was not very good. This is definitely better than that, so this one's for you, Liberty Chill. After that shot of Mountain Dew quickly started shutting down my body, I got into bed because I had to get up super early in order to catch the shuttle to the airport. It's really fucking early. It's like 4:30. I'm heading to the airport. I've actually never seen the Orlando airport this empty. It felt sort of surreal.
Doors are now closing.
Excuse me, guys. After getting through security, I decided to load up some film in my Olympus just in case I saw anything interesting in the airports while I was making my trip up. I would have a layover in Chicago at O'Hare, so I thought the potential to see something cool would be pretty high on this one. And this is why I had my camera loaded. I thought this hallway was super, super cool. That reflective ceiling was very eye-catching. You get the reflections on the ceiling complementing the actual people, and those leading lines just taking you right back into the photo. Savannah, Allie, and CJ all picked me up from the airport, which was really awesome. I love those two. They're just so sweet. They've been some of my favorite new family members that I've ever gotten. Not everyone's spouse's family are as cool as these two, truly. I knew we were actually heading to meet Savannah's parents, who were also up here visiting. Big family reunion sort of thing, but we made a stop before heading back to their house, and Savannah kept asking me if I knew where we were going, if I had any idea of where we were going. And my sleep-deprived brain truly had no idea what the hell she was talking about. But then I started seeing the crowds and a lot of kids eating corn on the cob, and holy shit, it was Corn Fest. This is one of my favorite photos of the entire trip, and I'm so sorry to the poor gentleman. I got just going absolutely hard on that giant corn dog, but it absolutely makes this photo.
Paint your corn. Paint that corn. She's painting the corn.
Oh, when you threw up on your, the shoes? Yeah, no thanks.
I'm a sucker for some architecture, and this is just the tip of the iceberg on this trip. After eating so much corn, I thought I was actually turning into Jonathan Davis. We hit the road and headed towards the beautiful Riverfront in La Crosse near Savannah's parents' hotel. La Crosse is actually right on the Mississippi River, which makes up this part of the border between Minnesota and Wisconsin. And the river is super, super, super wide, and the land you're actually seeing on the other side of this river is really just a big island. The river is fucking huge. I saw this little Lego car on the side of a fountain at the park, and I just had to take that photo.
Absolutely shows. You did. Yeah, but whose butt do you like to sleep on?
Who's the babiest of all babies?
You all might recognize Daisy from one of my earlier videos, but just so everyone knows, she rules and we are all big fans. After leaving the in-laws at the park, we headed towards this absolutely beautiful overlook that CJ and Allie had been telling us all about. The place is called Grandad Bluff and is one of the things I was most looking forward to on this trip and is literally 5 minutes from their house. Basically, back in the Ice Age, as those glaciers were carving their way through the middle of America, creating the Mississippi River, they kind of went through a couple different hills and created these massive sheer bluffs. And La Crosse was built right next to one, right on the river. So you have the city down on the flat land around the river, and you just have these cool-ass sheer bluffs surround. It is just like a super unique natural formation. This is actually just off the road on the way up to the bluff, but it was so pretty, we had to stop and take in the sights.
Bluff was the site of the first complete service of Christian divine worship to be conducted.
Hey, you can take the girl out of the swamp.
You can't take the girl out of the swamp.
You can't take the girl out of the swamp, you know what I mean? The wind never stopped up here, and that flag basically stayed exactly like this for the entire time we were here in Wisconsin. I like how clear the colors are on the flag, but the building is almost completely silhouetted. Good Lord.
Oh yeah.
A favorite of the trip for me for sure. The offset subject and leading line to the walkway complemented by the beautiful colors just make this one very special. We then left the bluff and decided to head to CJ and Allie's house to check it out. After we got there, me and Savannah decided to take Daisy out on a little walk around the neighborhood, and I'm so glad we did. There were just some absolutely stunning houses in their area. And it butts up right against a railroad, so just some awesome subject matter. After the walk, we ended up calling it a pretty early night as I had been up for a really long time at that point. So we headed to bed. The next morning, we met back at the in-laws hotel and found this awesome statue right in the plaza. Yes, that is a couple Native Americans playing lacrosse, and yes, the city is named after the sport because it was invented by the tribe that lived in this area. We then grabbed breakfast at this sort of hole-in-the-wall spot that was named after old-style beer, because yeah, old-style beer is brewed here in La Crosse.
It's a cool sign.
And one reason we chose this specific dive was because it was right down the street from the brewery, which has one of the best roadside attractions I've ever seen.
I do not want to see or be seen by straight people.
That's so funny to me.
Like the birds go through them.
But before we got there, I snagged this awesome photo. The pure geometric nature of the large buildings and the way the light is only really hitting them on that one side makes it a really nice.
Whoa! You thirsty?
Savannah, what are we looking at?
I don't know.
Wow.
Million cans!
7 million cans.
The world's largest six-pack. Like, I don't even drink, and this is still so fucking cool. After that world-changing experience, CJ and Allie wanted to take us to their local Menards. I had never heard of this place, but it's sort of like a Home Depot meets a grocery store, but they also sell way more pools than you would think. I had to pick up this Dr. Pepper ripoff while we were there, and it was okay. Since my father-in-law had to head home the next day, we decided to make this day really full of sightseeing. Just north of La Crosse is a small town called Onalaska, which is known as the sunfish capital of the world. It has a giant fish statue welcome you into the town. It's right on the side of the road next to this beautiful, beautiful river on this bluff. It's quite an entrance. The fish is affectionately named Sunny, and we thought this park was just so cool and cute that we hung out here for a little bit and enjoyed the weather. And of course, we got some pictures with Sunny.
So she doesn't know yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
After that, we headed to a place called Seven Bridges Park. Basically, it's one long trail through a swamp that at one point was used to connect two sides of the Black River for like trade and commerce and stuff, but now it's just a really nice walking trail with, you guessed it, 7 different bridges connecting the different land masses in the swamp.
Oh, careful. What? All right. Hey, that's the bridge up there.
Hey guys.
Now you know. It's like a bit of a bod, but I'll give you more pictures.
Well, we have that sign out front.
What poisonous one?
Yeah, but no.
Grasshopper!
It's still moppy.
Mothman.
Once again, back on the road, this time we had Minnesota in our sights. Just across the river is actually a town called La Crosse, which I thought was fun because we were in La Crosse. But anyways, on the north side of town, there's a really wonderful overlook called Apple Blossom Overlook. Tons of apple trees all around. So we decided to go check it out. It was absolutely stunning up here. To see the Mississippi River and islands in this way was amazing, even though these pictures are self-admittedly not very good.
Up here on a view of the Mississippi. I don't even know if you can hear me right now, but technically in Minnesota right now. Fam just walked up. I'm vlogging. So I'm vlogging. and it's an unreal view. It's really hard to make this camera do it justice, but across the river there's Wisconsin's where we were. It's so pretty.
It was lunchtime by this point, so we decided to find some food, and we found this little dive called Riverfront that was on one of those mini islands in between Wisconsin and Minnesota. And while we were waiting on our food, I decided, well, hell, it's right on the river. Let me go check it out. And I went down onto their dock. So this trip up to Wisconsin was not so coincidentally timed around Savannah's birthday, and so because her dad was leaving the next day, we decided to have a really nice dinner that evening. It was completely up to her wherever we went, and she chose this place called Diggers, which is a supper club. I had never heard of a supper club before, but apparently they're a pretty common thing in the area, like the Midwest. They're essentially a restaurant, but they're way more focused on like the social aspect. I mean, yes, of course you eat, but it's definitely more about like hanging out and being social with your community. You know, they're nice places, but they're not unaffordable. And I had a really, really wonderful dinner, a delicious roast, and Savannah was happy, which is really all we needed.
Thank you.
That night after everyone went to bed, I decided to try my hand at getting a shot of the moon on film because it was looking just especially pretty. I think the shot came out pretty great. You get the mood of the street lamp, but it doesn't overpower the moon, which is in the sky illuminating all those clouds. It's a really nice vibe.
Currently waiting on the family to get ready, so I decided to take a little walk around the neighborhood. It's super pretty here in La Crosse, and I knew that I wanted to come take some pictures of some of these houses around here. It's also just so beautiful. It's like a high of like 79 today, and it's fucking August. In Florida, it's like 95 until like October, so I'm super excited, and hopefully I'll get some cool shots from the neighborhood. It's absolutely beautiful.
I really like this photo specifically because of the framing of the house created by those tall bushes around it. The neighborhood had a ton of cool houses, like I said before, but this one was definitely my favorite.
See what I got you? I'm like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We'll just let her. Good girl. Good girl.
After breakfast, we drove just south of La Crosse to this church I had read about on the internet called the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. There's really no denying the beauty of a lot of Catholic architecture, so I just had to go check it out. You know, I had read that this was a relatively new campus. I think the last building was built in 2008, but you really couldn't tell. It was just so perfectly fit into the landscape, lots of beautiful flowers and trees. It looked really nice. I love this picture of Savannah and her mom. You know, they're just so sweet on each other.
This is the Guadalupe little booty max 3000. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a very serious photographer. It's a beautiful background. Yeah, that's weird. I got dress coded. my shoulders were just unseemly.
It's true, but the kindly old woman said, here's your...
Cheetah girl's scarf to wear. That's what God would want. How does it make you feel being on the YouTube? On the tube, bro.
I'm glad I was recording that.
So funny up there. So many bumblebees.
Definitely one of my favorite photos of the trip. The building looks just so nice placed here on this overlook, and you almost get half the image empty with the sky along the diagonal. Plus the added touch of Savannah and her mom adds a little bit of life to the photo, and I really like that. This is the main building on the campus, and as nice as it looked outside, the inside was even better, especially the dome. There was a small service happening inside, so I didn't really get any pictures inside as my Canon shutter slap was so loud and would have echoed just everywhere. After we left the shrine, we ended up dropping Savannah back off because she had to work. You know, one of the limitations of working remote is you could still work when you're not at home, but me and her mom decided to go off and do our own sightseeing. First off was this really cool international friendship garden located right next to the river. There were a lot of really beautifully themed sections of the garden, all to different countries.
Oh,
pretty cool.
that you're there.
It is very pretty. I like whatever that bluish tree is. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
It's a pine tree.
Okay. Well, it's just crazy looking. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I really like this.
Perpetual?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're cute.
Daisy is just such a photogenic dog and always poses so nicely that we had to get this cute photo of her. We then left the garden and headed to a spot that was so specifically for me. I had found out there was an A&W in town that had one of the really, really old classic signs, and I absolutely wanted to snag a picture of it. And mission accomplished. Pretty basic shot, but it was such a pretty day out that I think the picture really pops either way. From there, we headed to another spot that I had found on the internet, which actually turned out to be, I think, the biggest surprise for me on this entire trip. We actually visited and I gotta make sure I get this right, the Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration Motherhouse. You know, rolls right off the tongue. This big, beautiful building is just located pretty close to downtown La Crosse, and it was just absolutely stunning. I'm so happy we stopped by here. This ended up being probably my favorite, I would say, just like architecture find of this entire trip.
I'm sorry. I'm ruining your photos. All right. I like the big rose windows. I like rose windows a lot.
Another favorite from the trip. You know, it's not easy to get pictures of buildings that really work, but I think this one does. The beautiful tones of the brick really work in contrast with that bright blue sky, and the way the towers of the building really fill the frame just makes it work for me. We then left and headed to the grocery store to grab some food for later that evening, and you know, I was debating whether or not I should even show these next two clips, but I decided I absolutely had to, just for y'all. I discovered this thing in the store that was labeled finger jello, and I just haven't been able to stop thinking about it ever since. God, the Midwest is such a fun place. Later that afternoon, after Savannah got off work, CJ and Allie took me and her downtown to just go look around. They know I'm a big architecture nerd, and they know I love exploring. It was super sweet of them. We also got some ice cream. It was really nice.
Look at this car. Yeah, I'm gonna get a picture of it really quick.
La Crosse has such a nice downtown area that is surprisingly built up for how small a town and population it is, and I just absolutely loved it. Once we were back home, me and Savannah decided to take Daisy for a little walk. You know, we had to work off that ice cream. Another favorite of mine, the two of them are just so perfectly placed in the photo with this awesome evening lighting. This was actually going to be our last evening here in La Crosse. It was a relatively short trip for me, unfortunately. So after dinner, me and CJ went down to the riverfront so I could try and catch some of the sunset. While we did miss that mark, I was able to snag a couple photos during that, you know, blue hour.
Nice. That was good. I got that one on film. Yeah.
The only fun thing is you stand over here, you try for a rocket, you get the land on there.
Okay. Nope. Nope, not that one. Nope.
On the ride back, I spotted this cool ass building and I asked CJ if we could stop. You know, I'm just a sucker for this kind of really unique architecture. Even if the photos didn't come out so great, I thought it was really cool. Next morning, me, Savannah, and her mom all hit the road. She was actually going to be taking us all the way to Madison, which was not too far, maybe 2 hours, and then she would continue driving home in her own vehicle, and we would fly back back home to Florida. We had some time, so we made a couple stops along the way, including in Wisconsin Dells at this cheese shop. We then made one more stop in Middleton, which is just outside of Madison, at maybe the most random museum ever, but one I ended up really loving, the National Mustard Museum. And yeah, it's exactly what you think. Thousands of mustard bottles, mustard-related advertisements, mustard everything. It was honestly really cool, and we even got some really fancy mustard to bring home. This is quite possibly the best photo I have ever taken, and I will not elaborate more. We then said goodbye to Savannah's mom, got on the plane in Madison. And you know, we had this layover in Detroit that was really short. I think our plane got delayed in Madison a little bit, and we ended up having to really run across the entire airport. It was super terrible. Both me and Savannah were utterly exhausted and just so mad. We thought we were going to miss the flight, but we ended up being literally the last two people on. And when you know it, right as we got on, we saw two empty first class seats right at the front. So we just slid right in. I've never been in first class before, and man, those 30 minutes that we got to enjoy before we got kicked out was probably the best airline travel experience I've ever had and might ever will have. And after all of that, we finally landed in Orlando and headed home. And wow, what a trip. Truly one of the best places I've ever visited in this country, and like I said, just an absolute surprise. Truly was not expecting the beauty and uniqueness of La Crosse and the surrounding areas, and it's a place that I pretty desperately want to go back and visit again. I think I got some pretty good pictures from the whole trip, and honestly I took a hell of a lot more than I even showed. I'm just happy to have gone and enjoyed the experience and visited family, of course. As always, thank you for watching this video and supporting my photography adventures. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever been to La Crosse, Wisconsin, or if I missed something even cooler that I need to go to on my next trip. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed these videos, and I'll see y'all next time.